A royal scam, and it all happened in Hollywood. Mair Smyth passed herself off as an Irish heiress and a member of nobility to cheat hardworking entertainment industry insiders out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. But it was swindle TV producer Jonathan Walton who'd become a close friend, who finally brought Smyth's con days to an end. And it all played out like a true crime Hollywood movie.
She has no heart. She's like a shark just looking for her next prey.
Jonathan Walton is describing Mair, or Marianne Smyth, the woman who scammed him out of more than $75,000. The American Ninja Warrior TV producer says he met Smyth, a neighbor in his apartment building, in May of 2013. He remembers she had an unrecognizable accent that he assumed was Irish, since she claimed to be an Irish heiress set to inherit €5 million. Walton admits he was fooled for a very long time because Smyth was so good at her game.
When I told her that part of my family had disowned me for being gay, she's like, well, my family is disowning me too because I have this inheritance I'm supposed to get and they're trying to cheat me out of it.
Crime and terrorism analyst Brad Garrett says that's a common ploy.
Con artists try to find some common theme with you. It creates a level of trust.
And trust is exactly what Walton did. When Smyth said she had celebrity friends like Ashley Judd, he believed her. And when she started asking for money, Walton says he gave it to her.
People say, oh, how could he be so stupid to fall for that? Well, it was a well-orchestrated plan backed by evidence of emails.
We will overlook things, and we do that with friends who then ultimately pay us back. The con obviously is not going to do that.
But Smyth did pay Walton back, at least at first, cleverly getting a boyfriend to pay Walton back the first $4,200 she borrowed from him to keep suspicions at bay.
And while she was scamming me, she was scamming a dozen other people in Los Angeles.
She has to keep a lot of plates spinning because she's spending money that she doesn't have.
The $4,200 was to bail Smyth out of jail after she was arrested for embezzling $200,000 from the travel agency where she worked. Smyth kept up her charade and convinced Walton she was being framed by relatives to keep her from her inheritance. She claimed she had not been charged with a felony, but said her bank accounts had been frozen. So, believing her, Walton also loaned her money for rent, money to help her case, and money to cover a plea deal.
She's up to like almost $60,000+ out of me.
Part of the plea deal was a 30-day jail sentence. But when Walton checked the website for the jail where Smyth was being held, he suddenly realized he'd been scammed.
I see on the jail's website that she's convicted of a felony, and that's not what she told me it was. She was lying about everything.
But there was no time for self-pity. Walton started his own investigation, filed a police report accusing Smyth of stealing more than $75,000 from him by trickery, and got authorities on board. This, despite everyone telling him he needed to let it go.
She's still walking around scamming people. I'm not letting it go till she's in jail.
Walton estimates this whole ordeal has cost him a total of nearly $92,000. Smyth's trial for grand theft took place in early 2019.
Thank God she was convicted, and she got a 5-year sentence, the most she could get.
Smyth, who will only actually spend 2.5 years in prison, is set to be released on June of 2021. Her victims, meanwhile, are hoping she will be immediately extradited to Northern Ireland, where she is accused of scamming 26 victims out of $500,000.